Hello, I'm back again. In this video, I'm going to talk about a touchy topic, which I felt always the need, and I really want to discuss this. So what happens is like in US or any other country, I am aware of US, but what happens, people who are living there for a while, they usually, not all of them, but some of the people who are living in America or any other countries, they like to bash India. They talk to their friends, they talk to especially Americans and people living there, and talk all bad things about India. When you do that, I know there are problems in country. Every country have their own problems, but my take is this. I was in one of the discussions some few days back, and one of the guy was like, when people come to America, they usually don't know which side to drive. And that was a joke about it, right? That there is a guy who drove on the wrong lane, like the other side of the road. You understand? Here, left hand drive, right hand drive, kind of thing, right? And they're like, and then this guy, being an Indian, he joked like, "Oh, people come from India and they do that." And other folks, Americans and other folks who are not even going there, that who that person is, what is the ethnicity, what is the background. They were just saying that some person forgot about it and went to the wrong lane or the wrong side of the street. This guy took a liberty of saying that most of the, and was his actual sentence, that people, when they come from India, they don't know where to go and like how to do it, and usually they end up doing this because they don't know the roads, regulations and all. In India, there are very less regulation, very flexibility. People go anyways, anywhere they want. And I was like, I felt little odd about it, because you're bashing India in front of people, and especially the other country citizens, which is I find it a little odd, because when you say like Indians come here and do this, you're disassociating yourself. You're saying that you are not an Indian. Whatever your immigration status is, you may be a green card or US citizen, whatever it is, right? Or wherever you're living, you are still an Indian. You belong, you're born here, and that's not going to change. It's only your immigration status is changing, but not anything else changing. Suddenly your status changes and you start calling you're distancing yourself from being an Indian in your mind, and you want to pretend like these people do that people do that. It doesn't work that way, and you feel proud about it. You're trying to fit in those societies and trying to say that Indians usually do that. It's not going to help you. And let me tell you something. When you do that, it's basically you are saying that you are not an Indian, but whatever status you have, you still pursue it as an immigrant. Believe me. When you have a chat with one of your best buddies, let them be American from US or somewhere, talk to them and see, you still look like an Indian. You still talk like an Indian. You may be changing your accent. You may have got some accent from there, like I might have got it. I never noticed it, but it is there. But you're still an Indian. So I would not put new people who are coming there or whatever the sentence like that and make people look bad who doesn't know things, or the people coming from third world country. I hate the word third world country itself, but again, it's being used here and there. So don't do that, man, or whoever is doing it. Don't feel like you gained something really big in your life and now you're ready to comment on how people live in India and how they deal with the things. Your immigration status changed. You still have family living here. You still have parents living here. You still have brothers, siblings, or whatnot living here, right? In-laws. So they are also from India. When you say these kind of things in front of other countrymen or other citizens of other countries, you are basically putting your country down. I'm not saying that. Just talk about all the best things possible in this country, but at least don't take the liberty of bashing, country in front of other folks. Another instance, one of my manager or somebody coming to India for a visit, and he asked me, and I'm going, and he was a little worried because he was coming to India first time, American guy, right? And he was like, oh, I need to be making sure this happened and that happened. He has a lot of things in his mind going on. And I told him, it's perfectly fine. You're staying in one of the good hotels, you're not eating street side food. Your stomach will be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be able to digest. It happens with all of us who come back from India for a visit, right? We don't drink water outside. You take the mineral water bottles and those things. Suddenly there is a guy who is a friend of mine, still a friend of mine, good friend of mine. He says, you know what? Oh, you're going to India. Make sure that, oh, this is the problem. You may have diarrhea. You may have that. I was like, why are you putting a picture about India, that India is such a backward country that you will not get a fresh water? Is it so? I don't think so. I'm living here for a while, more than 1 year. People lived here for a while. You were here. Do you think, like, making those kind of statements, you don't understand what you're doing. You're putting India down. You're putting a picture of a country to other people's mind, the totally wrong image. Just like the Slumdog Millionaire, whatever that movie was. I was in US when that movie was released. I was in America. Very good friend of mine working in my team. He was born and brought up in America. He's like American. He asked me this question, oh, is India like that? And I was like, no, this is just a portrayal of it's just a movie. You're just portraying something about particular area. Don't they have slums in some part of New York? Don't they have people living on the street in California? Don't they have beggars there? I'm just talking about America. Every country have these things. So all these things which are done, these movies, I personally don't like that movie. Maybe the music is good because of A.R. Rahman. But what they're trying to portray there, just showing India a poor country, it should stop. And we appreciate those kind of content. Sorry, it's not good. So it's your country, man. End of the day, this is your country, wherever your immigration status is. My only humble request to all the people who are living in any of the country in the world, you may have these problems, you may see these problems in India. Don't bash India in front of others. It's not going to help you anyways. You are an Indian and people see that you came from there and you just start talking bad about the country. It's like not going to work. You talk about the political condition. Does America have really good political condition? You talk about the scams or the bribe. Doesn't it happen in America? Maybe a formal way. You haven't seen that, right? We can talk about it. There are a lot of things still happening in other countries in a polished way, which is you probably don't notice because you are not part of that system. You are worried about small things, right? You're talking about small corruptions. There are big corruptions happening in the countries, right? Doesn't it happen in America? Then, okay, look back. There are so many, just Google it. Look at the corruptions happening in any of the countries. So don't do that. Please, my humble request to you is, and this is, I really want to say this. This was done, and I always go ahead and say and try to, make people understand. It's not what you think India is. It's your home country. So please be respectful. I know it's not intentional sometimes, but at the same time, don't take the liberty of doing this. It's not going to help you. You don't become American just by a passport. You just hold a passport. You're still an immigrant. You look at Chinese guy walking on American street. He looks Chinese. He's from China. You can, when you see him, you think like he's from China. When he talks, when he introduces himself, that's when you come to know who he is. So it goes for you also. Stop doing that if you're doing it. If you're not, that's good. I'm not saying for any political agenda that this party is in power to do this. No. In general, I used to do that when I was in America from whatever time Congress was in power or whoever is in power. This is my country, Even if tomorrow I become a citizen of, I go back and get a green card or become citizen of America or whatever, I'm never going to do that. So please don't do that. Thank you for your time. I know people living in outside of India always have respect for India and they always have caring, but just want to add this from my point of view. Some people do that. If you see that happening, please suggest them, please request them not to do it. Thank you.